Two football giants, one legendary stadium, and a 1.2 billion euro gamble that could either redefine Italian football or turn it into a financial disaster. Fans are furious, politicians are meddling, and the clock is ticking. Let's dive into Milan's biggest stadium battle yet. Imagine this: two footballing giants, AC Milan and Inter Milan, both battling for dominance, not on a pitch but over a stadium that holds the very soul of Milan. It's their shared home, the iconic San Siro, a legendary arena that has seen triumphs, heartbreaks, and countless unforgettable moments. Now, after 70 years, the two clubs are planning to tear it down, but the vision they have for its replacement is bold and controversial: a stunning 1.2 billion euro stadium designed to reshape Italian football forever. They call it the Cathedral, a futuristic marvel with cutting-edge technology and architectural brilliance. But the road to making it a reality is anything but smooth. The clubs are facing fan backlash, political opposition, and bureaucratic red tape that's slowing down their plans. Protests from fans, threats to the current San Siro, and legal battles surrounding the stadium's fate are just the tip of the iceberg. On top of all that, the club faces enormous financial risks. This project isn't just about a stadium, it's about the future of two of Italy's most iconic football clubs. Can they succeed, or will this be one of the most expensive blunders in football history? Let's find out. Alright, buckle up, because things are about to get spicy. AC Milan and Inter Milan, two of the most iconic clubs in football, have decided to do something that's definitely gonna rub fans the wrong way: tear down San Siro. Yes, you heard that right. The same San Siro that's been home to the legendary Champions League's finals, intense Milan derbies, and witnessed the roar of 80,000 fans. A stadium that's full of memories, glory, and passion. So, what's their grand plan? To demolish it, of course, and replace it with a shiny new 1.2 billion euro stadium. A move so bold, it might as well be called a gamble of the century. Now, we know what you're thinking. Why would anyone do that? Well, the answer is simple: money. While some fans are throwing fits over this idea, the clubs have decided that San Siro is just too outdated. You know, ancient plumbing, rickety seats, and let's not even mention the fact that it's not even club-owned. It's owned by the city of Milan, and Inter and Milan have to rent it. Imagine having to pay to play in your own home. For these clubs, that's like playing champagne football on a lemonade budget. Now, enter the 1.2 billion euro Cathedral of football, a stadium so modern it'll probably have an app that orders your pizza while you're watching the game. This isn't just a stadium, it's gonna be a luxury playground. Think VIP boxes, shopping malls, and state-of-the-art tech that'll make your local stadium look like a high school gym. They're talking retractable roofs, 360-degree LED screens, and 5G connectivity. Basically, this stadium's got more gadgets than a Bond villain's lair. But is it worth destroying football history for all that? That's the question. Of course, the backlash was immediate. Fans went ballistic, and we're not talking about the normal "we don't like this" kind of upset. No, this was a full-on riot. Some fans even sent death threats to club execs. And yes, some might say that's a tad overboard, but when you're talking about something as sacred as San Siro, well, people don't exactly take it lightly. They didn't want just a new stadium. They wanted the soul of the club to remain intact, the essence of what makes Milan and Inter, well, Milan and Inter. Here's the kicker: the entire plan might not even happen. That's right, the whole idea could collapse faster than a poorly timed bicycle kick. You see, politics and legal loopholes are creeping up like an unexpected VAR review. The city of Milan opened a public tender for the site, and guess what? Rival bidders could swoop in and snatch the deal away from Milan and Inter, which means the two clubs might just end up with nothing but an empty stadium and a whole lot of angry fans. Oh, and did I mention there's the issue of legal protection for the stadium? If this goes on too long, the historic building might get slapped with heritage protection laws that could prevent them from fully demolishing it. So yeah, things could get messy. And here's the cherry on top: this whole 1.2 billion euro project was initially supposed to be done by 2023, but surprise, that timeline has already stretched to 2030, which means we're still years away from the shiny new cathedral and seeing it in all its glory. And meanwhile, San Siro continues to stand, facing an uncertain future, surrounded by political drama, fan protests, and a whole lot of questions about whether this massive investment is going to be worth it. Will the new stadium make Inter and Milan financial powerhouses, or will they turn into one of football's biggest flops? Only time will tell. So buckle up, because this stadium saga is only getting started, and the drama is just heating up. So if you thought Milan versus Inter was just a football rivalry, think again. This isn't just about goals and glory on the pitch. This is the kind of behind-the-scenes drama that would make even the most intense derby della Madonnina seem like a friendly game of bingo. So breaking it down, both clubs agree that San Siro is a relic. It's old, it's outdated, and not making them the kind of money that top clubs need to stay competitive in Europe. But the issue isn't just the stadium's age, it's what comes next. How do you replace something that's been at the heart of Milan's football culture for decades? Well, that's where the drama gets juicy. So for years, both clubs planned to build a brand new stadium right next to San Siro, keeping Milan's football pulse alive in the same historic spot. It made sense, new stadium, same location, same atmosphere, right? But here comes the plot twist. Milan's American owners, Redbird Capital, said forget it. They've already gone ahead and bought land in San Donato, a suburb of Milan, as a backup. That's right, no more sentimental attachment to San Siro. They want to build somewhere else. But Inter, they're still clinging to the dream of rebuilding the original stadium where it all started. You'd think that they'd at least have a unified plan, but nope. They're holding on to the idea like a football fan holding on to their first club scarf. And just when you thought it couldn't get crazier, Milan municipality decides to throw a wrench into the whole operation. They've opened a public bid for the San Siro site, meaning any company could swoop in and grab the land right out from under both clubs. If they lose this bid, San Siro stays, no new stadium, no future, and both clubs back to square one. Who's winning this war? Not the fans, that's for sure. They're stuck watching this unfold with no real answers in sight. It's a battle, and right now it's looking like no one's coming out on top. All right, let's talk about the Cathedral, Milan's billion-euro dream stadium. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill football ground. No. This was supposed to be a glowing, futuristic coliseum that'll supposedly keep Milan's clubs financially competitive with Europe's elite. Sounds amazing, right? A true testament to Milan's footballing legacy, but with a shiny new twist. But hold your horses. Will it actually feel like a football stadium, or will it just be a soulless shell? The design is inspired by Milan's famous Duomo and the Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, so it's got that iconic, stylish Milan vibe that we all know and love. In theory, this place is going to look like the future of football, a stunning piece of modern architecture that stands out on the global stage. Sounds great, right? Well, here's the catch. The current plan reduces the stadium's capacity from the legendary San Siro's 76,000 to around 65,000 seats, a big drop. What does that mean? Well, fewer seats for fans, a lot more room for VIP lounges and corporate boxes, and while the stadium might look like a futuristic masterpiece, it could also turn into a corporate paradise where diehards are left out in the cold. Imagine that. Less atmosphere, more business deals. But wait, there's more. The stadium isn't just about football, it's also a commercial mega hub. We're talking about hotels, shopping centers, offices, you name it. Critics are already calling it a football-themed business park. So what's the point? Is it really about giving fans an incredible football experience, or is it more about squeezing out every last euro from their wallets? A place to watch a match, or a shopping spree with a shot of football? The jury's still out on that one. In the end, the Cathedral could end up being the stadium of the future, or just another soulless structure that prioritizes money over the magic of the game. Only time will tell, but I'm not sure football fans are ready to swap passion for profit. If you think getting a stadium approved in Italy is a walk in the park, well, welcome to Milan's world of bureaucracy. Getting anything done here is like trying to sprint through a swamp, slow, painful, and full of unexpected obstacles. Milan and Inter's grand stadium plan, well, it's been stuck in limbo for years, and the political and legal roadblocks are thicker than the traffic on Milan's streets. Let's break it down. Giuseppe Sala, the mayor of Milan, says he's on board with the idea of selling San Siro to the clubs, but there's a catch. He'll only sign off on it if the deal gets wrapped up by summer. Otherwise, guess what? A heritage law could swoop in like a dark cloud, preventing the demolition of any part of San Siro. Yeah, you heard that right. The city might not even allow him to tear down a single brick without fighting a legal battle. Welcome to the world of Italian preservationism. And just when you thought things couldn't get any worse, there's a new twist. The city council can't even agree on who should get the final say. Some councilors are playing political chess, while others are too busy with their own agendas to care about a 1.2 billion euro stadium project. Nice, right? As if that wasn't enough, don't forget that the 2026 Winter Olympics in San Siro is scheduled to host the opening ceremony, which means any major construction can't start until after the games. That's more delays, more finger-pointing, and who knows, maybe the whole project could get canceled if they miss their deadline. We're talking about a monumental stadium project, yet the clubs are still battling through the same political mess as if they were fighting for a permit to build a tiny cafe. So this is the deal. Milan and Inter are dreaming big, but Italy's legendary bureaucracy is yanking them back to reality like a tug-of-war game. Delays, legal issues, and political chaos. Welcome to Italy, where things get done, but only after much shouting and many years of waiting. Okay, let's talk about the money behind this beast of a stadium, because, spoiler alert, it is not cheap. At first, they said it cost 650 million euros. But guess what? Fast forward to now, and that number's ballooned to over 1.2 billion euros, and it's still climbing like the price of a designer handbag on sale. But hey, what's a couple $100 million here or there, right? Redbird Capital, the owners of Milan, are all in on this gamble. They're confident they can turn this 1.2 billion euro dream into a gold mine. After all, they're thinking big. Naming rights alone could rake in around 30 million euros a year, and let's not forget commercial districts, hotels, shopping centers, office spaces, you name it. Expected to generate another 80 million euros annually. Sounds great, right? Well, hold your horses. Here's the catch. What if fans refuse to pay those ridiculous premium prices for tickets? What if the whole thing turns into a fancy, empty shell of a stadium with all the VIP boxes just sitting there collecting dust because nobody wants to watch football in corporate wonderland? I mean, can you imagine paying top dollar to sit in a sterile luxury box while the actual atmosphere of the game is drowned out by the echo of emptiness? Alright, let's get real for a second though. If this thing does work, it could propel Milan and Inter back into the global footballing elite. We're talking international powerhouses like Real Madrid or Manchester United, making bank from every match day. It could be the next big thing in football stadiums, but, and here comes the very big but, if this fails, it's going to be one of the biggest financial disasters football has ever seen. Like ever. Imagine investing all that cash only to watch it implode, leaving the two clubs looking like a pair of hapless millionaires standing on a sinking yacht. So, will Milan and Inter turn this 1.2 billion euro gamble into a global success? Or will this dream become a cautionary tale of financial hubris? Grab your popcorn, because this one's going to be a roller coaster. You can talk about budgets, blueprints, and billions all day, but let's not kid ourselves. The real power of this whole saga lies with the fans, and right now, those fans are fuming. San Siro is more than a stadium for Milan and Inter supporters. It's the soul of their clubs, a living, breathing part of their footballing identity. You can't just rip that out and expect everything to be fine and dandy. That's like replacing your grandmother's homemade lasagna with a frozen dinner. Some things are just sacred. Fans aren't just upset about the fancy VIP lounges or the sleek design of the new stadium. Oh no, it's deeper than that. What really gets under their skin is the feeling that all the football history and their history will be wiped away for a few extra euros in the bank. Sure, the new stadium promises luxury boxes and the latest tech, but where does that leave diehard supporters who pack San Siro seats for decades? Are they just supposed to sit back while the corporate crowd gets all the perks? Yeah, that's going to go over real well. Protests have been fierce. We're talking fans calling out club execs, even threatening, a little extreme, but hey, emotions are running high. Milan's owners, Redbird Capital, have tried to put out the fire by insisting that this new stadium is just about securing the future of the clubs. That sounds nice, right? But how are fans going to feel when they see their beloved cheap seats replaced with posh VIP lounges and corporate boxes? Not exactly the stuff of legends. And here's where it gets even trickier. If fans flat out reject the new stadium, it could all come crashing down. Because let's be real, clubs like Milan and Inter live and breathe off fan loyalty. Alienating that base for a flashy new stadium isn't exactly a recipe for long-term success. Fans might forgive a lot of things, but betrayal is not one of them. In the end, the fate of the new stadium could hinge entirely on how well Milan and Inter convince their supporters that this change is worth it. Will they rally behind this dream of a shiny new home, or will they rebel against what feels like the commercialization of something they hold sacred? The clock is ticking, the drama is far from over, and the countdown continues. And there you have it. The fate of San Siro, AC Milan, and Inter Milan's ambitious 1.2 billion euro stadium project is hanging by a thread. A lot is on the line, and let's be real, this is much more than just a stadium. It's a battle for the future of two of Italy's most iconic football clubs. We've got passionate protests, billion-dollar financial risks, and fans who feel like their hearts are being ripped out. If that doesn't scream high-stakes drama, I don't know what does. So, will the new stadium, dubbed the Cathedral, live up to its name? Will it be the glowing beacon of luxury, innovation, and global football dominance for Milan and Inter? Or will it be remembered as the biggest mistake in football history? A massive, costly flop that completely alienates fans and destroys what little connection people still have with the sport's rich history. One thing's for sure, the pressure is on. As it stands, the clock is ticking and the situation's anything but simple. Delays, rival bidders, political wrangling, and a whole bunch of legal hoops are making it hard for the clubs to secure their grand vision. The stakes have never been higher, and every decision feels like it could tip the scales. And don't forget the fans, those loud, passionate voices who have made it crystal clear that this isn't just some business transaction to them. San Siro is not some crumbling relic. It's their heart, their home, and a piece of footballing sacred ground. If Milan and Inter can't win him over, well, this whole billion-euro gamble could fall apart before it even starts. So, what do you think? Is the stadium project a bold leap into the future or a disaster waiting to happen? Will fans accept the shiny new cathedral, or will they feel betrayed by their clubs? Drop your thoughts below. I can't wait to hear what you think. Keep the conversation going, and as always, stay tuned for more chaos. Hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into Milan's stadium saga, let us know. Do you think the stadium's worth the gamble? We are committed to releasing 2 videos for you to watch every week. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more visionary builds.